new design's been giving us a fit. We've been trying lots of different stuff setup-wise, and still haven't seemed to be able to hit on it. Kind of today's one of those days again. We changed 4 springs and 4 shocks and the sway bars in the car this morning from yesterday's practice. It doesn't seem to be any better, and we're just built a lot of adjustability in the car. What we're doing, kind of testing today, you know, to try to find something Bobby likes that we can get back on track and be able to run these people.
You heard Jimmy say they turned today into a test session, which we've seen several drivers do over the past couple of years when they just feel like they don't have the feel they're looking for. An uncharacteristic day for a 3-time Michigan winner.
And here's the thing that kind of bugs me a little bit, and I don't mean to step on anybody's feelings here, but going to NASCAR and trying to get them to fix your problems, I think you get what you ask for with the car, and then you find out, hey, that wasn't really our problem after all.
But you know, the tire that the teams had back in 2000, it was a very soft tire. It was a grippy tire. The car, we were running fast everywhere we went. Then in 2001, the tire package came along, and it's a harder tire. The car don't stick as good.
Ricky Rudd coming up. Try to draft along with Dale Jarrett. They are now 5th and 6th. Let's go to the leader's pit. That's Jimmy Johnson's pit. Dick Bergman.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, a few laps ago, told his crew in one word that the car is awesome. That's a direct quote. It's awesome. A little while after that, crew chief Chad Knaus came on and said, I know you're not going to like this, but save it when you can. It is fuel. These guys do have trouble conserving fuel. You see.
Dick Knaus pitted on lap 139. They made no adjustment to that race car. But since that time, Kenseth has been telling crew chief Robbie Reiser that he's gotten progressively looser. So that's the problem that Kenseth has right now. He's a little bit on the loose side.
Who is Jimmy Johnson's mentor? What was his favorite word that he said, I think, 97 times in his first Winston Cup acceptance speech? Jeff Gordon. Awesome. Jimmy Johnson's awesome. That's bad news for some of these fellas.
But here's going to be the Achilles heel, I believe. Who's going to come down pit road the best without speeding? Got to really be careful here at the end of the day. Making this green flag stop is going to be critical. 77 car is crept right up in there. And he's right there sitting ready to pounce all over the back of the 28 and the 88. And his car looks really good, running nice and low around the racetrack. That car's fast.
Is Busch off the pace, or did Jarrett just get a good run on him?
Looks like Busch, he's going to lose even another position here to Ricky Rudd.
I guess he just didn't get off turn 2 very well.
And I think now you see why the 97 elects to stay out sometime on tires, because he come in and got 4 tires, hadn't been near as good as he was on the old ones.
This battle is almost 5 seconds behind our leader, Jimmy Johnson, right now. I'll tell you, a good race car. Kevin Harvick in the 29 car, the Goodrich car, but he was one of the cars that was caught on pit road by making a green flag stop back at halfway. So he's sitting there, unfortunately, 2 laps down. Dick Bergman, how about Jimmy Johnson, our leader?
Well, more on that same conversation about saving fuel. Johnson said the car is really good up front, and he asked Chad Knaus if he wanted him to stay up there, drop back and save fuel. Chad said, you stay up front. That's what Jimmy Johnson's going to do. They're going to eat some gas to hold the lead. Mike?
He has 3/4 now on Matt Kenseth, pulling away just a touch.
Well, these guys, they're going to need about 3 to 4 gallons of gas at the end of this race. That's about 3 to 4 seconds. DW, I'm like you. It's about what's going to happen on pit road.
Yeah.
Cup Series on Fox, presented by Circuit City, is brought to you by UPS, official delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck.
And welcome back to Michigan. Rookie Jimmy Johnson trying to make history, win his 3rd race in his rookie year. It was here, lap 97, when John Andretti hit the wall, bringing out the first caution. And Dale Jarrett, who was leading, let Jimmy Johnson get his lap back, and that's trouble because on lap 161, Jimmy Johnson took the lead after a Ford had led since lap 49. And right now, Jimmy Johnson is trying to hold off another Ford in Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman with 27 laps to go, and still Jeff Hammond another pit stop to make.
Yeah, and it's going to be the one that's going to make or break this whole day for a lot of these guys. They're trying to keep pace with Jimmy Johnson, but this last pit stop is going to be so crucial because a lot of these cars, all they're going to have to take is a splash of gas to how they execute and get on the racetrack and back off is going to be so important. And whether or not these pit crews can hit that gas hole, count that number of seconds, how many gallons they need, and get back up to speed could make a big difference.
Well, let's get thoughts from Larry McReynolds on that. Larry?
Larry, what do you think? Might somebody not make that last stop?
Well, I mean, Darrell and I have been talking. There's a good chance. Elliott Sadler in that 21, another guy. He's up to 7th. Dave Blaney in the 77. He's another one that possibly may try to stretch his thing. Because you know what, Darrell? Elliott Sadler, Dave Blaney, they're really not in a points race. Right. They really aren't. I know we're only 14, 15 races into it. They need a win.
Buddy, I'm going to tell you, when we stand up here and talk about the last pit stop, we better go check, see if somebody hadn't already made their last pit stop.
Yeah, Blaney is 18th in points. Sadler is 23rd in points. Got a little less to risk here. But boy, what a victory would be. Boy, Jeff Green almost brushed the wall between turn 3 and 4 as he comes by. Looks like he stayed off it, but he was pretty close up there.
He smeared the Goodyear on the side of his tire.
From Tony Stewart's Old Spice cam. Now Stewart is 1 lap down, watching Jeff Green up there running the high line.
Another guy that's run that high line, he came up off the bottom, and it seems to be helping him is Matt Kenseth. He was running around the bottom kind of like Jimmy Johnson was, and all of a sudden he moved up to the top, and he's cut that lead down just a little bit, and maybe even a little bit more. And now look at Jimmy Johnson. Looks like he's trying to shadow what the 17 car is doing. And again, you know, Rusty's back there. He's not too far off either.
And they caught the 44 car so quick, he was trying to complete the pass on Dale Jarrett. This is a battle for 8, so Dale Jarrett, the UPS car, continues to go backwards.
Well, this joint here will do that to you. You can have a great car the first half of the race. Don't know what happened. You didn't change anything. If you ask the driver, you ask the crew, say, we don't know what happened. The car just second half wasn't any good. That's the racetrack. That's what this track's known for. Things will get so loose in and so tight off, you can't fix them.
Matt Kenseth, winner at Rockingham, winner at Texas, second at Martinsville, second in Charlotte. Trying to take the lead from Jimmy Johnson the long way around.
He's pretty much been feast or famine. He's either up there bidding for the win, or they've had some sort of mechanical failure that has bit him, just like last week at Pocono with the transmission.
Now let's talk about these drivers that are running the high line. They are going further. If they had an odometer, they're running further. And is that using more gas?
Well, but there's a good chance now. This is a possibility. If you run that high line, maybe you got a high gear. You need that high line to make your car run fast because you're geared up a little higher. The other guys won't burn as much fuel. Got to run the low line with the lower gear to torque up off the corner. So you never know. Different strategies. Well, they say different strokes for different folks. So,
that's right.
And boy, it's definitely different lines through the corner. I mean, one's at the very bottom, one's against the wall.
And they come off, and they meet right there coming up on the back straightaway.
Behind them, Brian Newman is 3.2 seconds off the lead, and he has a big gap back to Michael Waltrip. Dick Bergman?
But on this Father's Day weekend, Ryan Newman talked about his dad, Greg. Ryan says 95% of his competitive spirit comes from his dad. Educational moments for him when he was a kid, watching one car for a full race, sitting in the grandstand with his dad. Greg Newman is his son's catch can man. He's also the motorhome driver. Greg and his wife Diane live in the motorhome during the week until they get to the racetrack, at which point they depart and go to a motel so Ryan Newman can occupy his home on wheels.
Our Ford No Boundaries moment with 21 laps to go, and maybe, probably, possibly, or will there be one more pit stop?
Perhaps.
He's enjoying the Winston Cup race here at Michigan, presented by Circuit City, where Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth are just a bumper width apart.
Talking about mom and dad driving the motor coach. I've heard of tennis brats, and I guess now we got racing brats.
Well, the green flag stops. They have started. Bill Elliott, who was on the lead lap, he pitted about 2 laps ago, a little splash of fuel. Remember, earlier in the race, he was one of the cars that showed they could not go as far as the rest of the...
Yeah, he did take 2 tires, and let me tell you, that 17 is all over the back of that 48.
In the straightaway.
Well, they come together.
Yeah.
They part, And then right down there, about right along in here, they start coming back together, and there they are.
But right now, they have them 3 wide in front of them, about 20 car lengths up there. So, you know, this lap traffic here, it can definitely play. As you know, it's a wide racetrack. If you catch them at the wrong place in your line, it can hurt you.
Well, if I'm going to come to pit road, of course, there are different lines that you're running. It shouldn't affect anything. But if I was going to come to pit road, I sure don't want that 17 stuck up my bumper. Here comes the 24 car down
You got
pit road.
1 and 2 coming there behind you.
Now, if the 48 pits, well, he's going to clear Robbie Gordon, who's going to pit road, as Kenseth blasts by him.
Yeah, see, he's not ready to come. But look, he's slowing down way too much, Larry. He should have come on around here. Of course, I guess that traffic is affecting him a little bit.
Darrell, this is an old Formula One trick. When you catch a group of cars, pit then, so you don't waste a lot of time with them holding you up. You'll probably get back on track in clean air.
Yeah, that could be. That's a good call.
What we're seeing is most of these cars take on just 2 right side tires. Dick Bergman, our leader, is in.
Yes, he is, and they have been anticipating this. This was absolutely planned. Jimmy Johnson pits very close to pit wall. There's going to be no tires. He's going to go with no tires. This is exactly the strategy he has used to win 2 races before this year. Jim Pollock, just enough gas to get him to the end.
And that's what happens when a good car pits early. I mean, you know, we saw it at Dover. You feel like when you're leading the race, you're a sitting duck. So you've got to dictate what everybody's going to do.
Well, what he has to do, Darrell, is get those tires cleaned off. Remember, they picked up a lot of stuff on the apron, and get back up to speed just as quick as he can and get back in his rhythm.
But I like that call. Pit now, so you don't have to fight those lap cars and lose a lot of time doing it. Pit, get back out there, find yourself some clean air.
Rusty Wallace on the lead lap. He's on pit road for his final stop. 13 laps to go. Looks like they're going to do 2 right side tires on Rusty. A lot of cars doing right side. A lot of cars like Jimmy Johnson, just 4 or 5 seconds of fuel.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., Steve Park, and Mike Skinner are in for their final splash. Ricky Rudd is in. Now he's moved up to 3rd place.
And Darrell, he did about as good a job as you can do getting to that mark where you have to be 55 miles an hour. He picked the throttle back up to 3 and 4, almost like he's going to run another lap.
Steve?
Robbie Reiser, the crew chief for Matt Kenseth, signaled Michael McSwain, the crew chief on the 28, to let him know what lap they were coming in on. 28 came in, took gas only, 17 coming shortly.
Ricky Rudd stop looked like just a stop and go.
Yeah, I mean, I think they didn't need to be there any longer. I felt like Jimmy Johnson, 5 seconds, was there a little longer than he really needed to be.
Here's the key. How long will Robbie Reiser's car be stopped?
All right, about 5 away. Here we are.
Benji Grubbs is the gas man. He hits it, no tires for the 17.
He was only there about 3 seconds.
I'm not so sure he got enough fuel in his car. He must not needed much, Dick.
Well, here's Ryan Newman on pit road. Greg Whitley, he overshot his pit by just a tad. Greg Whitley's supposed to put just 3 seconds worth in, maybe a tad more than that. Boy, fast stop for Newman.
3.5 seconds for Dale Jarrett for fuel. Kyle Petty is in as well. Kyle in 8th place. And Michael Waltrip moves up to the lead. Waltrip, whose best finish ever here, was 7th.
But I'll tell you what, Mike, you did a great job then of bringing that thing onto pit road.
So did Kurt Busch in the 97 car.
Staying right with him, yeah.
And the leader, and maybe the gas mileage king today, Dave Blaney. Matt.
Well, Mike, Jack Roush came down to the 97 pit, and he told crew chief Jimmy